There is a moment in every person's life when the old story can no longer carry them forward. A moment when you realize that wishing is not enough, hoping is not enough, and wanting is not enough. Life answers to the sound of your own voice. Your destiny bends to the command of your own words, and the wealth you seek is waiting, patiently, just beyond the barrier of your old beliefs. Your words are not simply sounds passing through your lips. They are spiritual commands, deeply charged with creative force. Every phrase you speak is like a seed thrown into the unseen realm, and that realm, far more obedient than the physical world, responds to it without hesitation. Most people underestimate the power of language, thinking words are casual expressions of emotion. But words are spiritual laws in motion. The moment you speak something with feeling, you ignite a chain reaction that begins shaping circumstances, opportunities, and outcomes. When you declare wealth, you declare the asterisk shape asterisk of your future. When you declare lack, you authorize that lack to continue. Words are not passive. They are builders, architects, and carriers of intention. They carry energy, direction, and spiritual authority. The creative power of spoken words has always existed, but very few tap into it consciously. The universe was spoken into existence, not built with hands. Every miracle, breakthrough, and transformation begins with a declaration. When your words align with abundance, you create a magnetic field around your life that draws prosperity from every direction. But when your words align with worry, you reinforce the walls that block your blessings. This is why people who constantly complain remain stuck, while those who speak abundance rise faster, even from difficult situations. It isn't luck, it's law. You are blessed when you speak blessing. You are strengthened when you speak strength. And you become wealthy when you speak wealth. Words are also containers of belief. They reveal your inner identity and reinforce it with every repetition. If someone says, "I never have enough money," over and over, they're not stating a fact. They're planting a spiritual instruction for life to follow. The subconscious mind hears that statement and begins forming habits, emotions, and decisions to match it. The universe hears it and aligns circumstances accordingly. But the moment you begin to speak differently, everything begins to shift. When you declare, "Wealth flows to me," your subconscious starts searching for opportunities instead of problems. When you say, "I am prosperous," your mind begins to see abundance where it previously saw limitation. Spoken words reprogram the inner world, and the inner world changes the outer world. This is why the affirmation you choose becomes the blueprint your future follows. Words spoken with authority become laws over your life. You are never begging the universe when you affirm wealth. You are commanding it. Your words tell the unseen realm what to deliver. The more consistent your declaration, the stronger the vibration becomes, until the physical world has no choice but to reflect it. This is not magic, it is alignment. When your words match the wealth you desire, you give the universe clear instructions. And when you speak them with belief, you activate momentum. Every declaration becomes a force moving ahead of you, forming opportunities, opening doors, and creating pathways that your natural abilities alone could never create. This is the power of your spoken word. It is the architect of the wealth you are destined to receive. Wealth has never been the result of relentless struggle, exhausting effort, or constant pressure. True wealth is born from alignment, an inner agreement between your beliefs, your expectations, and the abundance that already exists for you. Many people chase money with the belief that the harder they push, the more they will receive, but pushing without alignment only creates more resistance. When your inner world is filled with stress, fear, or scarcity, you may work endlessly, yet the results feel small, temporary, or unstable. Wealth does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. It flows toward the person whose mind and spirit are in harmony with prosperity. When you align with abundance, opportunities appear effortlessly, ideas flow naturally, and doors open without force. Alignment is the recognition that wealth isn't something outside of you, something you must fight for, or something only available to a chosen few. Wealth is energy, and like all energy, it responds to resonance. When you hold thoughts of abundance, when you believe that prosperity is your divine right, when you expect good things to come, you shift into a frequency where wealth finds you. You stop searching tirelessly for the how, and instead become a magnet for the when. In this state, you no longer chase after money. Instead, money begins to move in your direction through people, ideas, unexpected opportunities, and moments of divine timing that no amount of force could produce. This is why some people seem to attract wealth without strain, while others struggle endlessly despite their hard work. It is not the amount of effort that determines the level of success. It is the alignment of the inner world. The person who believes they are meant to prosper carries a different energy than the person who believes they are meant to struggle. The one aligned with abundance walks into a room differently, speaks differently, decides differently, and expects differently. That expectation becomes the force that rearranges circumstances. Alignment transforms ordinary actions into powerful ones and small opportunities into multiplied results. When you are aligned with abundance, every decision you make comes from confidence rather than fear. You stop chasing opportunities born from panic and begin moving toward those inspired by clarity. You stop settling for just enough and begin expecting more than enough. You stop accepting scarcity as normal and begin recognizing overflow as your natural state. And as this inner alignment deepens, wealth begins to circulate toward you in ways that feel almost effortless. You meet the right person at the right time. You receive a breakthrough when you least expect it. A closed door suddenly becomes an open pathway. What once felt impossible begins to unfold smoothly. Alignment is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It turns thoughts into reality and dreams into outcomes. When your beliefs, emotions, and declarations align with wealth, you step into the flow of abundance, where prosperity is no longer something you pursue, but something that naturally finds its way into your life. Wealth multiplies when your inner world finally agrees with the truth that you were always meant to live in abundance. The subconscious mind is a silent but powerful servant, one that accepts every word you speak and every belief you repeat as unquestionable truth. It does not argue, it does not analyze, and it does not reject. It simply absorbs. Whatever you feed it consistently becomes the pattern it follows and the reality it creates. This is why the statements you repeat, whether intentionally or unconsciously, shape your financial life more than your circumstances, your upbringing, or your current situation. If you continually declare lack, your subconscious will organize your choices, emotions, and behaviors around that belief. But if you repeatedly declare abundance, your subconscious will begin to construct a life that matches the wealth you speak. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between a moment of frustration and a conviction spoken with intention. It registers every declaration with equal seriousness. When someone casually says, "Money never stays with me," the subconscious hears it as an instruction. It begins guiding the person toward decisions that fulfill that statement, impulse spending, poor opportunities, or relationships that drain resources. It's not punishment, it's obedience. But when you declare, "Money flows to me easily," with repetition and feeling, your subconscious starts shifting your habits to match abundance. You become more aware of possibilities instead of problems. You begin to see solutions where others see obstacles. You attract ideas that expand your income instead of limiting it. You make choices that support your future instead of sabotaging it. This is not coincidence. This is programming. The subconscious mind is always listening. Even the smallest phrase becomes a seed planted in fertile soil. And unlike the conscious mind, which forgets, doubts, and hesitates, the subconscious is constant. It works day and night, shaping experiences according to the beliefs it has accepted. If you consistently tell it, "I never have enough," it will ensure that your life mirrors that declaration. But if you consistently affirm, "I am surrounded by wealth and opportunities," it will reshape your inner world to attract those very opportunities. It is a mirror reflecting whatever you declare to be true. This is why repetition is the key to transformation. One statement spoken once will pass like a breeze, but a statement spoken daily becomes a blueprint. The subconscious needs consistency to form a new reality. Every time you speak your wealth affirmation, you reinforce a new identity, an identity that expects abundance instead of fearing lack. With enough repetition, the affirmation stops feeling like words and starts feeling like truth. And the moment it feels true internally, wealth begins to materialize externally, because the subconscious cannot hold a belief that does not eventually express itself in life. Your subconscious is not your enemy. It is your most loyal ally. It will build whatever you command it to build. If you instruct it to create lack, it will obey. If you instruct it to create wealth, it will obey with the same devotion. When you choose to speak abundance, you choose to reprogram the silent engine driving your destiny. And once that engine is pointed toward prosperity, nothing, not fear, not circumstance, not your past, can stop the wealth that begins making its way to you. The subconscious mind is a silent but powerful servant, one that accepts every word you speak and every belief you repeat as unquestionable truth. It does not argue, it does not analyze, and it does not reject. It simply absorbs. Whatever you feed it consistently becomes the pattern it follows and the reality it creates. This is why the statements you repeat, whether intentionally or unconsciously, shape your financial life more than your circumstances, your upbringing, or your current situation. If you continually declare lack, your subconscious will organize your choices, emotions, and behaviors around that belief. But if you repeatedly declare abundance, your subconscious will begin to construct a life that matches the wealth you speak. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between a moment of frustration and a conviction spoken with intention. It registers every declaration with equal seriousness. When someone casually says, "Money never stays with me," the subconscious hears it as an instruction. It begins guiding the person toward decisions that fulfill that statement, impulse spending, poor opportunities, or relationships that drain resources. It's not punishment, it's obedience. But when you declare, "Money flows to me easily," with repetition and feeling, your subconscious starts shifting your habits to match abundance. You become more aware of possibilities instead of problems. You begin to see solutions where others see obstacles. You attract ideas that expand your income instead of limiting it. You make choices that support your future instead of sabotaging it. This is not coincidence. This is programming. The subconscious mind is always listening. Even the smallest phrase becomes a seed planted in fertile soil. And unlike the conscious mind, which forgets, doubts, and hesitates, the subconscious is constant. It works day and night, shaping experiences according to the beliefs it has accepted. If you consistently tell it, "I never have enough," it will ensure that your life mirrors that declaration. But if you consistently affirm, I am surrounded by wealth and opportunities. It will reshape your inner world to attract those very opportunities. It is a mirror reflecting whatever you declare to be true. This is why repetition is the key to transformation. One statement spoken once will pass like a breeze, but a statement spoken daily becomes a blueprint. The subconscious needs consistency to form a new reality. Every time you speak your wealth affirmation, you reinforce a new identity, an identity that expects abundance instead of fearing lack. With enough repetition, the affirmation stops feeling like words and starts feeling like truth. And the moment it feels true internally, wealth begins to materialize externally, because the subconscious cannot hold a belief that does not eventually express itself in life. Your subconscious is not your enemy. It is your most loyal ally. It will build whatever you command it to build. If you instruct it to create lack, it will obey. If you instruct it to create wealth, it will obey with the same devotion. When you choose to speak abundance, you choose to reprogram the silent engine driving your destiny. And once that engine is pointed toward prosperity, nothing, not fear, not circumstance, not your past, can stop the wealth that begins making its way to you. Expectation is one of the most powerful forces in the universe because it determines not only what you attract, but how you interpret, respond to, and shape every opportunity that comes your way. Hope is a gentle wish, a fragile desire that says, I want this, but I don't know if it will ever happen. Expectation, on the other hand, is a spiritual command. It is the belief that the thing you desire is not just possible, it is inevitable. You do not receive what you occasionally hope for, you receive what you consistently expect. Expectation turns your affirmation into a magnet, pulling wealth toward you with a force stronger than circumstances, stronger than history, and stronger than fear. Many people speak affirmations, but they do not expect them to manifest. They declare abundance with their words, but doubt it with their spirit. Their mouth says, I am wealthy, but their inner voice whispers, I hope this works. That contradiction weakens the energy of the affirmation. The universe is always observing the energy behind your words, and it responds to the strongest one. Hope may whisper, but expectation roars. When expectation becomes your dominant state, the universe begins rearranging situations to match your inner certainty. Expectation changes the way you walk into a room. It changes the tone of your voice, the decisions you make, and the risks you're willing to take. A person who expects wealth looks for opportunities instead of obstacles. They recognize divine timing instead of dismissing it as coincidence. They see potential in places where others see nothing. This is why expectation creates momentum. It expands your perception. Your mind becomes attuned to abundance. Your intuition becomes sharper. Your choices become aligned with growth. The world opens for those who walk in expectation because expectation is confidence in action. Expectation also influences how you handle setbacks. When you merely hope for wealth, any challenge feels like a sign that the dream is collapsing. But when you expect wealth, every setback becomes a temporary detour, not a final destination. You learn from it, adjust your path, and move forward with even stronger conviction. The person who expects abundance cannot be intimidated by temporary difficulty because they know the outcome is already settled in their favor. This unshakable mindset is magnetic. Opportunities are drawn to the person who refuses to doubt their own destiny. Expectation turns the invisible into the inevitable. It is the mental and spiritual state in which your inner world and the external world begin to align. The moment you shift from hoping to expecting, you activate a law that cannot be denied. You become the kind of person wealth looks for. You send out a signal that you are ready, open, willing, and aligned. When you expect something, you no longer chase it. You prepare for it as though it is already on the way. This preparation is a declaration of faith, and faith accelerates manifestation. Your affirmation becomes powerful when expectation fuels it. When you say, "Wealth flows to me," and genuinely expect it, the universe responds immediately. Expectation is the bridge between your words and your results. When you expect wealth, wealth begins expecting you. You do not receive wealth simply because you want it, desire it, or wish for it. You receive wealth when your identity aligns with abundance. The universe is always responding to who you believe yourself to be not what you occasionally hope for. Desire without identity creates tension. You say you want wealth, but deep inside, a voice may still whisper, "I'm not the kind of person who becomes wealthy." And the universe echoes that inner belief. Identity is the foundation upon which reality is built. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, your actions, habits, and opportunities will reflect that belief. But if you see yourself as someone to whom wealth naturally flows, your entire life begins to reorganize around that identity. Identity is the silent magnet beneath every affirmation. You can speak abundance with your lips, but if your identity is rooted in scarcity, your subconscious will cancel out your declarations. The subconscious mind always chooses identity over desire. This is why so many people work hard, say all the right words, and still fail to break through financially. They are trying to build a wealthy life on the foundation of a poor identity. The inner world must shift before the outer world can transform. When you affirm wealth, you are not just requesting blessing, you are rewriting who you believe you are. You are replacing the identity of a struggler with the identity of a receiver. Your identity expresses itself in everything you do. It shows up in how you handle money, how you approach opportunities, how you speak about your future, how you react to challenges, and what you believe you deserve. A person whose identity is rooted in abundance doesn't think twice about opportunities, they move with confidence. They don't shrink back or wait for permission. They act as if wealth is their natural environment. They expect growth, they expect favor, they expect breakthroughs, and their actions reflect that expectation. This is why wealthy identity creates wealthy outcomes. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. The moment your identity shifts, your decisions transform. You stop sabotaging your progress. You stop settling for less. You stop living in survival mode. Instead, you begin choosing expansion, choosing courage, choosing visibility, choosing to step into spaces you once believed were too big for you. People often say money changes you, but the truth is deeper. A wealthy identity changes what you attract. It alters your posture, it rewrites your habits, it shifts the opportunities you notice and the ones you create. You begin to speak differently, walk differently, and carry yourself with the certainty of someone who knows they are meant to prosper. Your identity also influences what you tolerate. A person aligned with abundance does not tolerate environments that drain them, relationships that belittle them, beliefs that limit them, or patterns that sabotage them. They begin releasing the old version of themselves because it no longer feels familiar. Abundance becomes the new normal. Prosperity feels natural. Success feels deserved. And wealth becomes the expression of their inner truth, not a distant fantasy. When you affirm wealth, you are telling the universe, "This is who I am now." And once identity and affirmation match, manifestation can no longer be delayed. The universe responds to identity with precision. Wealth flows effortlessly to the person who believes they are worthy of receiving it. Whatever you consistently acknowledge, the universe expands. This is a law so simple yet so powerful that most people overlook it. The energy you repeatedly feed with your words and thoughts becomes the dominant force shaping your life. When you speak about wealth, appreciate wealth, and consciously affirm abundance, you activate a spiritual principle that causes your prosperity to grow. But when you constantly talk about lack, worry about money, or complain about financial pressure, you give your energy to scarcity, and scarcity expands. The universe is not emotional, it is responsive. It multiplies whatever you give your attention to. Your words act like a spotlight, illuminating the areas of your life that will grow stronger and more visible. Many people unknowingly expand the very conditions they want to escape simply because they talk about them all the time. They rehearse their struggles, magnify their challenges, and repeat their fears as if they are reading a script. But when you continually speak about hardship, your subconscious mind begins to accept that struggle is normal, familiar, and expected. The universe responds to that expectation by sending more experiences that match it. This is why people who constantly say, "I can never get ahead," find themselves stuck in repeating cycles of financial stagnation. The law of expansion does not discriminate. It grows whatever is nourished by your attention. But the moment you begin to speak abundance consistently, things start to shift. Your words become signals that call forth new opportunities, fresh ideas, and experiences that align with wealth. Each time you affirm prosperity, you are watering the seed of abundance within you. The more you speak it, the stronger the seed becomes. The stronger it becomes, the more it grows, and as it grows, it begins to influence your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and expectations. You start to feel wealthier mentally long before wealth appears physically, and that inner transformation is what draws the physical manifestation into your life. Consistency is the key to this law. A single declaration of wealth is like a drop of water on dry soil. It evaporates quickly. But consistent declarations turn that soil into fertile ground. You cannot speak abundance for one day and expect your entire life to shift. But if you speak abundance every day confidently, intentionally, and with feeling, the universe has no choice but to reflect it. You are instructing it daily, shaping the energy around you, and creating a vibration that wealth recognizes. Wealth moves toward consistency, not occasional effort. When you speak the same truth repeatedly, you create a steady frequency that aligns you with prosperity. This law is already working in your life, whether you realize it or not. The only question is, what are you expanding? Fear or faith, scarcity or abundance, complaints or gratitude, stress or expectation? You have the power to choose, and your choice becomes your reality. When you consistently affirm wealth, even before you see evidence of it, you activate the universal law that multiplies whatever you acknowledge. Eventually, the physical world must align with the energetic world you have created through your words. Wealth becomes inevitable because you have continually expanded it with your consistent, confident, deliberate declarations. A single, powerful affirmation has the ability to shatter years of limiting beliefs, break through fear-based patterns, and rewrite the inner script that has kept abundance just out of reach. Most people underestimate the impact of one sentence spoken with conviction, not realizing that it carries the authority to reshape the subconscious mind. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains. They silently dictate how you think, act, and respond to opportunities. They convince you that wealth is for someone else, that success is unattainable, or that you must struggle endlessly. But one affirmation, delivered with faith and repeated consistently, has the power to cut through those chains and release the natural flow of abundance. This power works because affirmations bypass the conscious mind speaking directly to the subconscious, where all your habits, emotions, and beliefs reside. The subconscious does not question your declarations. It accepts them as truth. When you speak an affirmation rooted in prosperity, it begins to overwrite the old, limiting patterns that have governed your life. Years of fear, doubt, and scarcity can be displaced by a few powerful words spoken with authority and expectation. This is why many people experience immediate shifts in energy, perception, and opportunity after committing to a single, focused affirmation. The right affirmation works like a key unlocking doors that were previously invisible. Limiting beliefs have created mental and emotional walls that prevent you from seeing, receiving, and acting on opportunities. The affirmation clears the fog of doubt and fear, allowing your vision to expand. You begin to notice possibilities where you once saw obstacles, solutions where you once saw problems, and abundance where you once saw lack. It does not create wealth out of thin air. Rather, it aligns your inner world with the infinite possibilities of the universe, enabling you to recognize and seize the opportunities that were always present but hidden behind your limiting beliefs. Consistency is critical for this transformation. One affirmation spoken sporadically may create a fleeting sense of hope, but it cannot uproot deeply ingrained thought patterns. Repetition strengthens the impact, embedding the affirmation into the subconscious until it becomes a natural part of your identity. Over time, the affirmation rewires your mindset, reshaping your thoughts, emotions, and actions to match the vibration of abundance. Your inner world becomes a fertile field for wealth, and the outer world inevitably begins to mirror that transformation. The alignment between your internal belief system and external reality is what allows opportunities, resources, and wealth to flow effortlessly. An affirmation also works by instilling a sense of authority and certainty in your life. It replaces hesitation with decisiveness, doubt with confidence, and fear with faith. When spoken with conviction, it broadcasts to the universe a clear signal: you are ready, deserving, and aligned to receive abundance. This energetic clarity removes the blockages that once prevented wealth from flowing, channels through which what prospered, Enchel y have I gnored, while trier to natura fit le, IYSP isuvs a ces too small for me. One affirmation, when embraced fully, becomes far more than words. It becomes a spiritual decree, a tool of transformation, and a catalyst for the manifestation of all the wealth that has been waiting for you. Wealth is not a product of chance or circumstance. It responds to clarity, confidence, and conviction. Every opportunity that comes into your life is filtered through the lens of your inner state. When your mind is clouded with uncertainty, when your heart hesitates, and when your spirit doubts, wealth is unable to settle in your life. But when your thoughts are clear, your decisions are confident, and your intentions are firm, abundance has a way of moving directly toward you. Clarity allows you to recognize opportunities that others overlook. Confidence gives you the courage to act on them, and conviction ensures that you follow through until success is inevitable. Oh, without these three qualities, FTMAL, Zin, ABGEL, even the most promising prospects can slip through your hands. Vorli Uverkikkel, Kalatin, CQ Yini is the foundation for all financial growth. It allows you to see exactly what you want, how it fits into your life, and the steps required to bring it into reality. When you are clear about your intentions, your inner world aligns with your outer world. You no longer wander aimlessly or pursue opportunities that are not meant for you. Instead, you become focused, directed, and decisive. Clarity sharpens your vision, allowing you to recognize which paths will bring the greatest return and which will drain your energy. In wealth creation, clarity transforms ordinary effort into precise action, ensuring that every move you make is aligned with abundance rather than scattered in the pursuit of temporary or superficial gains. Confidence is the energy that moves opportunity toward you. It is the assurance that you are capable, deserving, and equipped to receive abundance. A confident person steps boldly into situations where others hesitate, asks for what they want without apology, and trusts their abilities to follow through. Wealth does not flow to those who second-guess themselves. It is drawn to those who believe in their own worth and in the possibility of receiving. Confidence also inspires trust in others, attracting support, partnerships, and resources that multiply your capacity to succeed. When you combine clarity with confidence, your actions carry a magnetic force that draws wealth and prosperity as naturally as gravity pulls objects toward the ground. Conviction is the commitment that ensures you do not falter when challenges arise. Opportunity rarely arrives without obstacles, and fear or doubt can quickly derail progress. Conviction anchors you to your vision of abundance, reinforcing your commitment to persist, act, and believe even when circumstances seem unfavorable. It transforms temporary setbacks into lessons and redirections rather than final failures. The person with conviction refuses to settle for less than what they know they are capable of achieving, and that determination sends a clear signal to the universe. Abundance is expected, and it will be delivered. When clarity, confidence, and conviction unite within you, wealth begins to flow effortlessly. Opportunities that once seemed distant appear naturally, choices become easier, and action aligns seamlessly with intention. You move through life with a sense of certainty that wealth is not only possible, but inevitable. Your words, thoughts, and actions consistently reinforce this inner state, creating a powerful cycle of attraction that multiplies abundance continuously. By cultivating these qualities, you position yourself to receive the wealth that has always been available to you, allowing prosperity to settle into your life without resistance or hesitation. There are moments in life when everything shifts with a single declaration, a single affirmation, a single act of faith that aligns you with the flow of divine timing and universal favor. These moments are not random. They are opportunities to step into the fullness of what has been waiting for you all along. The universe has already prepared the path, the resources, and the connections necessary for your success. What remains is for you to place yourself in alignment with them. This alignment is activated through intention, belief, and the spoken word. When you declare your wealth, your purpose, and your readiness to receive, you open the door to the opportunities that have always existed, waiting for you to claim them. Divine timing is precise and perfect, and it responds to clarity and faith rather than effort or struggle. Many people labor for years, pushing, forcing, and striving, yet remain frustrated because they are working against timing rather than with it. The right affirmation at the right moment, spoken with conviction, activates a sequence of events that appear almost miraculous. The opportunities, resources, and people you need converge in ways that defy ordinary explanation. This is why one powerful declaration can accelerate outcomes that previously seemed impossible. It places you squarely in the current of universal favor, where momentum is generated effortlessly and abundance begins to multiply. When you speak this affirmation, you are signaling readiness to the universe. You are declaring, "I am aligned, I am worthy, and I am prepared to receive the wealth and opportunities that have been destined for me." This simple statement carries enormous authority because it communicates not just desire, but certainty. The universe responds to certainty. Hesitation, doubt, or fear cloud the channels and delay manifestation. But when your words resonate with conviction, the unseen world cannot ignore them. Everything begins to reorganize in your favor. Doors that seemed closed swing open. Connections that seemed impossible are made. Solutions emerge to problems that once felt insurmountable. Circumstances shift to accommodate your declaration. The affirmation also works by synchronizing your inner world with the outer world. It aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you wish to create. Once your inner state reflects abundance, your outer world begins to mirror it. You think like a person who is already wealthy. You act like a person who commands opportunity. You perceive the world through the lens of abundance rather than limitation. This shift in perception makes you alert to opportunities that were always there but invisible to your previous mindset. It allows you to recognize and seize moments that will multiply your wealth, often appearing as if by divine orchestration. This one affirmation accelerates outcomes because it does more than speak to the mind. It speaks to the spiritual laws that govern manifestation. It clears blockages, shifts vibration, and sets into motion forces that move in your favor. The timing of blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs often feels miraculous because they arrive exactly when your readiness and alignment meet universal provision. By consistently affirming your wealth and readiness, you place yourself in a perpetual state of alignment, ensuring that opportunities continue to flow, resources continue to multiply, and your life continues to expand in ways that reflect the abundance that has always been intended for you. And so, the power to multiply your wealth has never been in the world outside of you. It has always lived within your words, your beliefs, and your unwavering expectation. Each affirmation you speak is a seed, each thought a command, and each act of faith a doorway to the abundance that is already yours. When you align your identity with prosperity, release fear, and speak with clarity, confidence, and conviction, the universe moves to reflect your inner truth. Wealth is not distant, it is not delayed. It is flowing toward you now, responding to the energy you choose to emit. Claim it boldly, speak it daily, and live in the certainty that everything you touch prospers and abundance multiplies around you. Your words have the power. Your faith has the authority. Your life has been waiting for this very declaration.